Today, I'll show you how to make the small motif. The small motif is mainly composed of 9 half circles, using a 2 mm crochet hook, 40 chain stitches. Alright, start with 40 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. We'll crochet 40 chains downward. Once the 40 chains are done, we'll work single crochets on the second row. After that, make one beginning chain and turn the fabric over. We'll continue crocheting 7 single crochets. Now we've reached the starting position of diagram 1. Starting from the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're on the 6th stitch. We'll crochet 9 double crochets. Take a look, this is 1, 2, 3, insert the hook into the 3rd stitch. We crochet, okay, that's 1 double crochet. Alright, just like this, we'll make 9 double crochets. Once we've completed the 9 double crochets, we'll join with a slip stitch at the 3rd stitch on the selvage. There's a little trick, when joining with a slip stitch normally we just pass through the stitch like this. But since this is the wrong side, let's flip it over to check the effect. You'll see a big V shape here, which affects our overall look. Let me first undo the regular crochet. For this stitch, we'll only crochet through the back loop. In the 3rd stitch, we pick up the half loop that's closest to us. This stitch forms a V shape. We don't pass through the entire V. We only pass through the half loop closest to us to make the slip stitch. Alright, we'll work 2 chains directly. Okay, we continue at the 3rd stitch, still making a slip stitch through the back loop. Now, we turn the fabric over. Since this is the wrong side, we turn it like this. Okay, place the loop on the back side of the fabric to turn it. Alright, let's check our result. There are just 2 small red dots, which won't affect the overall look. Okay, let's begin crocheting. On these 9 double crochets, we'll work DC 2 in 1, which means working 2 double crochets into each double crochet. We're going to complete the 2nd round. Alright, after finishing the 2nd round, we now join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Since this is the right side, we don't need to pick up through the half loop. We simply pick up 1 stitch, and make a slip stitch through the entire stitch. 1, 2, 3, the 3rd stitch. Alright. We need to switch colors now. Okay, we're going to switch to the red stitch, which is the one we just made. Alright, adjust the loop. After we turn it, we'll work back from this side. This is the wrong side. We need to keep the loop and the entire yarn on the back side for crocheting. The chart says 1 double crochet, 1 DC 2 in 1, because the stitches in this area are a bit loose. So at this slip stitch position, we'll start with a double crochet. Alright, next we'll begin with a double crochet. After 1 double crochet, 1 DC 2 in 1. So in the 2nd stitch, we'll work a DC 2 in 1. Alright, 1 double crochet, 1 DC 2 in 1. 1 double crochet. 1 DC2 in 1, and we'll continue like this until the third round is finished. After finishing the third round, the last stitch will be a DC2 in 1. Alright, we'll join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Since we're continuing with the same color, we don't need to pick up half of the loop. We'll just slip stitch directly into the third stitch. 1, 2, 3. Alright, to make the color change easier, we'll crochet 2 single crochets forward. Alright, time to switch colors. Now we'll start working with the white yarn. Starting with white, we'll begin the fourth round. The fourth round is in white, and we'll only be doing single crochets. Alright, let's focus on explaining how to change colors. Right now, the white yarn tail is at this position. And we want to switch to this loop, which is right inside this loop. Alright, let's start by crocheting 3 chains. Alright, roughly reaching the position where we'll switch colors. We'll pull the loop out from the right side of the fabric. Based on the third row, we'll work 1 single crochet into each double crochet. Without increasing or decreasing. And with that, we'll complete it on our own. Alright, once this round of single crochets is done, we'll slip stitch to the selvage. Earlier, we crocheted 2 single crochets forward with the red yarn, so we'll perform the slip stitch in the second to last stitch. We'll turn the fabric and start crocheting the next round. For the next round, the last 2 rounds of red are also single crochets. In the first round of single crochets, we work 2 single crochets and 1 SC2 in 1. Alright, earlier for switching colors, we left it at this position. So now we can just pick it up and start crocheting directly. This is the right side of the fabric. We'll hide the yarn tails and loops, including the white yarn tail, at the back of the fabric. Start crocheting single crochets, 2 single crochets, then 1 SC2 in 1. 1, 2. Alright, on the third single crochet, we'll work 1 SC2 in 1. Alright, following this pattern, we'll complete this entire round. 2 single crochets, then 1 SC2 in 1. Alright, like this, we'll finish this round. Once this round is done, we'll join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Alright, work a single crochet forward. Alright, turn the fabric. For the next round, we'll work even. Alright, we'll complete this round evenly. Once the last stitch is done, we'll join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Alright, we've finished figure 1. Alright, now we'll start working on the pattern. The number 2 refers to this white half circle. To make color changing easier, after joining the red yarn with a slip stitch to the selvage, we'll work 4 single crochets forward. Alright, let's switch colors now. For the white yarn, we need to work 10 single crochets around the edge. First, we need to insert the hook. Let's start by making 2 chains to reach the position where we need to begin, then turn the fabric. We just worked 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll pull up a loop in the first single crochet position. Then we'll start working 10 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, turn the fabric. 1 chain stitch. Work back. I worked back 3 stitches. Make a beginning chain, work 2 single crochets back. We're on the 3rd stitch from the bottom. Count 1, 2, 3. Insert into the 3rd stitch, crochet 9 double crochets. After completing the 9 double crochets, we'll slip stitch into the 3rd stitch of the selvage. 1, 2, 3. Alright, slip stitch. We'll work 2 more single crochets forward. As we just hooked 4 stitches in red. We used up 1 stitch, now work 2 single crochets from the 2nd stitch. Alright, turn the fabric. Begin working the 2nd round. The 2nd round is working a DC 2 in 1 on every double crochet, which makes 18 double crochets. We'll work 7 single crochets forward. We'll switch to red yarn. We'll work single crochets on the white 2nd round. When we work the single crochets, we work them on the half loop that's farther away from us. We'll work 16 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, we'll work the red edging, a total of 24 single crochets, and now turn the fabric. We'll work back 3 single crochets. On the 3rd stitch, we'll make 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, make 5 double crochets on the 3rd stitch. Alright, finish the 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, count 3 stitches, we'll make a slip stitch. After the slip stitch, work forward 2 single crochets. Alright, turn the fabric. On the 2nd round, we'll work DC 2 in 1s, which equals 10 single crochets. 2, 3, 9. Alright, after finishing the 10 single crochets, we'll now slip stitch to the selvage. Slip stitch on the last stitch. Now we can switch colors. We'll start switching to white yarn, because we have 1 row here. When we came over earlier, there was a row here, going back there's a row, one extra row, so we need to add one stitch in this row. After switching colors, we'll work at this position. Alright, it's like completing this row. Next, we'll start working on these 10 stitches, working 1 single crochet, 1 SC2 in 1. This is the first stitch. This is the first stitch of our second round, work even. The second stitch is a SC2 in 1. Alright, this stitch is worked even. Second stitch is a SC2 in 1. Round 4, 36 single crochets, work even all around, then join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Alright, start switching colors. Because our red yarn is currently positioned in this stitch, about 4 single crochets away, we'll chain 4 to reach this position. Alright, insert the hook into this stitch. Turn the fabric. We'll continue along this edge and work 36 single crochets, working even. Alright, work all the way through. Once we've completed the 36 single crochets, join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Then work 1 more single crochet forward. Turn the fabric. This row will also work 36 single crochets, working even back across. To make color changing more convenient, we'll work 9 more single crochets forward. Alright, start switching colors. Alright, up to this point, chart 1, chart 2, and chart 3 are now finished. Now we'll work on chart 4 and chart 5. Alright, we're now starting chart 4, and we'll switch to white yarn. Alright, switch to white yarn, chain 6. Keep it loose. Next, we'll count 7 stitches starting from the lowest position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, alright, insert the hook into the 7th stitch. Work single crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Work 10 single crochets, then turn the fabric. Alright, into the 3rd stitch, work 9 double crochets. One, 2, 3, we work 9 double crochets into the 3rd stitch. Join with the selvage using a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the 3rd stitch. Work 2 single crochets forward. Alright, turn the fabric. Round 2, we still work DC2 in 1s. Based on round 1, we work 9 groups of DC2 in 1s. Alright, complete it yourself. Alright, after finishing round 2, we join with the selvage using a slip stitch. Work a single crochet forward. Turn the fabric. Work a single crochet, then work a SC2 in 1, which means increase 1 stitch after every stitch. Alright, 1 single crochet, 1 SC2 in 1. We finish this row. Alright, after finishing round 3, we join with the selvage using a slip stitch. Alright, after finishing, we work a single crochet into the next stitch, and we work 8 single crochets. Alright, turn the fabric, and into the third stitch, we work 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Alright, after finishing the 9 double crochets, we slip stitch into the third stitch, then work 2 single crochets forward. Alright, turn the fabric. We work a DC2 in 1 into every double crochet, same as before. After finishing the 9 groups of DC2 in 1s, we slip stitch into the third stitch. Alright, we still work a single crochet directly into the third stitch, and we work 11 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn the fabric. The first stitch we will skip, and not crochet. We'll start with a slip stitch in the second stitch. Slip stitch for 3 stitches. Alright, begin working single crochets. For this round of single crochets, we'll work evenly straight to this position. Once this round is completed, join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Alright, now switch colors to crochet. Using the red yarn loop. This round is also crocheted with the red edge, work even. Place the yarn loop and yarn on the wrong side of the fabric. Alright, start working single crochets evenly. When reaching the middle position, to keep the fabric flat, we will skip the next 3 stitches. Skip those 3 stitches directly and start from the 4th stitch. Continue working single crochets. Alright, work up to the position of the 3 slip stitches, because we want to create a tapered line on this side. Our hooking position is between 2 single crochets. Check the effect on this side. It looks like this. Continue working this round until it's completed. In the next stitch, we'll make a slip stitch. Alright, let's switch colors now. For the white yarn loop, we'll chain 3, and our hooking position is in the second stitch. Alright, turn the fabric. We'll work 8 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, after completing 8 half double crochets, we'll work 8 single crochets. Then we'll make 8 half double crochets again. Five, 6, 7, 8. Alright, the finished effect looks like this. Alright, now we've hooked to the middle position, let's do a decrease. We'll work a HDC3 tog. Alright, from now on we'll work only single crochets. Let's check the effect. Alright, continue working single crochets all the way to the selvage. Alright, after finishing this round, we'll join with a slip stitch to the selvage. Alright, now we're down to the last stitch on the selvage. It's time to switch colors. Alright, let's take a look, this is the final effect. Alright, switch colors for this round. We'll chain 2 with the red yarn. After chaining 2 with the red yarn, insert the hook into the last stitch. Alright, place the white yarn loop and tail on the wrong side of the fabric, and we'll begin working single crochets. We'll start working single crochets from this position to about this position, because for this single crochet section, we're doing 3 single crochets and 1 SC2 in 1, and we'll stop right at this position. 1 stitch, 2 stitches, 3 stitches, then work 1 SC2 in 1, 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets, 1 SC2 in 1, we'll work this round up to this position and stop here. Alright, I've worked 13 groups of 3 single crochets, and 1 SC2 in 1. Okay, we can also adjust based on our own positioning. Sometimes being off by 1 or 2 stitches doesn't matter, just around this area is fine. Once we're at this position, we'll start working slip stitches. Slip stitch 3 stitches. Alright, turn the fabric. Skip the first stitch, and starting from the second stitch, continue slip stitching. Slip stitch 3 stitches. Alright, now we'll begin working single crochets. We'll work 7 single crochets. Alright, we'll start by working in the third stitch. Once we've completed 9 double crochets, we'll make a slip stitch in the third stitch. After the slip stitch, we'll work 2 single crochets forward. Turn the fabric, and for the second round, we'll work the same method as before, work DC2 in 1s throughout. After finishing the second round, we'll make a slip stitch in the third stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, continue working 2 single crochets forward, then turn the fabric. Alright, this round we'll work 1 double crochet, followed by 1 DC2 in 1. Alright, just like that, we'll complete this round. Once the third round is completed, we'll make a slip stitch in the third stitch. After the slip stitch, work 5 single crochets forward. Alright, in the third stitch we'll work 9 double crochets, then continue crocheting the next half circle. Again, make a slip stitch in the third stitch, then work 2 single crochets forward. Turn the fabric. In the second stitch, work a DC2 in 1. Once the second round is completed, make a slip stitch in the third stitch. Work 1 single crochet forward, then turn the fabric. This round we'll work single crochets, increasing 1 stitch every stitch. Alright, in the second stitch work a SC2 in 1. Alright, work the first single crochet normally, then in the second stitch work a SC2 in 1. Alright, in this way we'll finish crocheting the third round. After completing the third round, we'll make a slip stitch in the third stitch. After the slip stitch, work 5 single crochets forward. In the third stitch we'll work 9 double crochets. After finishing the first round, slip stitch in the third stitch and then work 2 single crochets forward. After turning, we'll work DC2 in 1s in the second round. After finishing the second round, we'll make a slip stitch in the third stitch. Work 2 single crochets forward. Turn the fabric. The third round is 1 double crochet, 1 DC2 in 1. Alright, let's finish this round. Okay, after completing the third round, slip stitch to the selvage. We'll work 3 single crochets forward. In the third stitch, we'll work 9 double crochets. Alright, after finishing the first round, slip stitch to the selvage, in the third stitch. After the slip stitch, work 2 single crochets forward. Alright, let's begin switching colors. With white yarn, we'll make a chain. In the last stitch, we'll pull out a loop. We'll work the second round with DC2 in 1s. Working 2 double crochets in each double crochet. Alright, let's finish this round. After completing the second white round, we'll slip stitch to the selvage. Okay, now we'll start crocheting in the round with white. Working even all the way to this position. working only single crochets. Alright, with white, after reaching this position with the edging, we need to make a corner triangle, meaning we'll add a corner here. In the previous half double crochet position, we'll work a single crochet in the first stitch. 2 stitches. 3 stitches. 4 stitches. Alright, now we'll start working double crochets in this lower area to make a corner with double crochets. In this stitch, which is the last stitch, we'll work 3 double crochets. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the third stitch. After slip stitching, we'll work 3 single crochets forward. Alright, when we reach the selvage position, we'll continue with 2 more single crochets. Alright, that makes 5 single crochets total. We'll turn the fabric. We're on the third stitch. These 2 single crochets are on the selvage, and we'll start working double crochets in the third stitch. Alright, after finishing that increase area we just did, we'll start working half double crochets. Alright, work 3 half double crochets. After finishing them, we've reached the color change point, so we'll start working single crochets. Alright, we'll work this entire round, going straight up to the very top. Work even. Alright, when we reach the middle, since this corner is too tight, we'll look at the 2 middle patterns here, and we have 4 stitches left in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 stitches, and we're at the middle position. Right between every 2 stitches, we'll work 3 double crochets. Alright. We'll continue working single crochets in the next stitch. Let's check how it looks after turning it over. It will look like this. And it will look nice and rounded. It's like we're adding a corner triangle, filling up this low area to make it even. Alright, the following parts are the same, so let's continue crocheting. Alright, let's go over again. When we reach the position where we need to add the corner, we still have 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll work 3 double crochets right between every 2 stitches. Alright, skip 2 stitches, and in the third stitch, continue with single crochet. Alright, just keep crocheting like this all the way down. Alright, once we finish the white edge, we can basically break the white yarn now. Next, even though the fabric isn't flat right now, it's totally fine. Later on, we'll use an iron to flatten it out, so don't worry about that. Alright, we're going to switch colors now, and we can fasten off the white yarn directly. For the red yarn, this will be our last round of edging, working even with single crochets. When we get to this part, I'll explain a bit more. There's a slight adjustment needed here, we're still adding a corner. Once we reach this position, we'll start working half double crochets. Alright, finally we'll make double crochets. For the last stitch, join with a slip stitch to the selvage. We're basically done with the red yarn, and this is the right side, where we've completed the edging. Next, we're going to work on the bottom edge. Let's move to the bottom edge. We need to add a corner here, because this side isn't very neat. Next, we'll use double crochets, like this. Single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, we'll use these stitches to complete the corner. We'll also hide the yarn tail at the same time. Start working single crochets. Since both sides are a bit higher, you can adjust based on your own judgment. For areas that are slightly lower, we'll use half double crochets to fill in. If the area is significantly lower, we'll use double crochets or even treble crochets to make up the difference. Let's take a look, it's gradually getting lower. So we'll start gradually increasing the stitch length. Okay, now we're using half double crochets. Then double crochets. Alright, for the final round we'll finish off by working slip stitches. Working one slip stitch into each stitch. When working the slip stitches, we can switch back to the 3mm hook used for the main part. We'll use the 3mm hook to work slip stitches along the edge. Okay, this is the effect after working the slip stitches. Let's have a look. It's not very flat yet, so I'll iron it out now. After finishing the crochet, we can leave the yarn tail a bit longer, since this motif will need to be sewn onto our garment. The tail should be at least 3 times the circumference, plus a little extra. Sometimes you might also need to sew through the center a couple more times to secure it. Alright, I'll go ahead and iron it now. Okay, we're done ironing. This is the result after ironing. This is what we crocheted using a 2mm hook. Alright, see you later.